The best 30 seconds of my life. I don't know what music is playing, but I'm tuning into the stream. Twitch.tv/Mike Lightning. My favorite website.
All right. So let's
Go.
let's get this. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I like that. Oh god, I need to get rid of that. Oops. Cool. None of you saw that. That didn't happen. Oh god, this is great. All right. So, hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're gonna be talking about lawyers and the funny lawyer game that we finished like 4 weeks ago. Actually, can we get a read on that? How long ago was that?
Question.
When did the last episode air on the VOD's channel?
April.
Yeah, a month ago, so 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
All right, it's been a hot minute. Originally, we were only gonna take a break for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden it became 3 weeks, and then we were gonna do it last week, but I had nothing prepared.
Yeah.
I still have nothing prepared, but like, hey, at least I have this this reactive image thing going on. So
I have even less than nothing prepared.
That's impressive. All right.
200 word.
A 200-word essay. That's so short. What?
I didn't do a word count, but it's somewhere from between 2 and 1,000.
Oh my god. So we're all seated in the courtroom at our typical designations. I'm on the prosecutor's side.
I'm standing because the witness stand has no chairs.
Yeah.
I'm Pratt.
Damn shame.
Down the verdict on the game.
Yeah. All right. So Chris is proud over here. He's gonna give us our verdict on the game once we're all done with this.
Yes.
So I guess let's get general opinions out of the way first of the first game.
Oh fuck! The moment I was dreading most.
Should we do general introductions first?
Oh, it's probably a smarter idea.
Yeah.
I was I'm Mike. This is my channel. I hope you know who I am. I think my most famous role was Edgeworth because it was the one I was the worst at.
Come on.
You did a great job.
Your voice is solid.
He could have said tea and crumpets a little more times because he's very British.
He's
he's
the most British German man in the world.
You didn't mention his cat named Caucus Bendis. Occurred to me in a dream. That is his cat's name. Anyways, my name is Chris Pratt. I voiced the judge and also Maya Fey, and I am the only person here to have played every Ace Attorney game, which means I am the most qualified to answer the question of is this game good?
That's accurate. I'm still gonna answer that question when I make a video on this game, but
minus the making the video part.
I'll make it.
Yeah. So Jeremy, do you want to go next or should I?
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I played the game,
He did play the game.
and now I'm congested.
Yeah. I am the man formerly known as Society. However, now I am the Keeper. I played Mia Fey, Winston Payne,
Jesus Christ.
Red White, Wendy Oldbag, Dee Vasquez,
He's going through every character, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Manfred von Karma, Damon Gant, and Jake Marshall.
Shit, I can do that too.
Wait, he missed one. He missed his most important role.
Oh, and Dick Gumshoe.
How do you miss Gumshoe?
No, I was saving the best for last, I swear.
Sure you were. All right.
My list is literally just my voice and then a Brian Griffin impression.
No. It's a Brian Griffin impression followed by squawks. Get it right. All right. I'll go first. Because I've basically stated my opinion on this game throughout the entire playthrough. I really like this game. So I really like the characters. But I don't like the 5th trial. I think it goes on for way too long.
Mm.
And the characters that it introduced aren't that interesting to me, to say the least. We'll get to it when we get to Trial 5, but that's my general opinion.
You can call me Brian Griffin with the way that I'm going to parrot that exact same opinion, because this game is fantastic until the 5th trial. Like, I was so invested on the first time that I ever played this game, and it's so unbelievably memorable that the second time I saw every twist coming because I'd remembered it from when I played it 2 years ago, and that kind of ruined the game for me. But I'll get to why being good is a bad thing when I get to my essay.
I'd like to pause real quick. Keeper, over here.
Yes.
Do you have headphones?
Just the standard ones I always have.
Cause I'm hearing the stream through your audio.
I see.
So, if you could figure out a solution to that.
I don't know how I would solve.
You're wearing your headphones right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just maybe turn down the stream a bit. Or no, because I know it's not the stream. Maybe just turn down the audio a bit so it doesn't enough to where you can still hear us clearly, but not to where it's like coming out of your headphones.
Is this better?
Yeah, I can't hear anything right now.
Okay.
Do you want to go next since you also have experience in this game, and we'll save the newcomer's general opinion for last.
I normally I'd agree with you, but I think Jeremy should go next because I think I'm the dissenting opinion.
Oh yeah, he is already.
I see. Okay.
Okay. +1.
Well said.
Well said.
No further thoughts.
Like first.
I just +1ing yours and Michael's opinions.
all right. I thought you were +1ing the game.
More so you're in Liam. Holy shit, I can't remember. You're in Andrew's opinions.
All right.
You mean
I think you mean Chris Pratt. Yeah.
Chris's Pratt?
Oh, he's gotta have an alias. You think Chris Pratt isn't just a stage name?
No.
Really?
Yeah, Chris Pratt's
My
stage.
real identity is Mario.
I was gonna say Chris Pratt's stage name. His alias is Chris's Pratt.
My God.
All right, Mr. Dissenter, say why the 5th trial is good.
So, I like the first game, including the 5th trial. I think that personally, I don't have much of a problem with longer trials, and that's just personally me, so that doesn't bother me that much. And also, I think that the new characters that were added were more than zany enough to make up for it, even if that was a problem.
All right.
I didn't like the 5th trial. I
Okay,
like the first game as a whole. Hold on.
might
So-
I pose a question?
Okay. All right.
What is the best character introduced in the game?
I hate you. I was literally about to ask who's everyone's favorite and least favorite characters.
That
You
is hard.
You stole my question from me, you absolute
It's
bitch.
important.
Because
no
it
thought.
relates to what Nathan has said about the 5th trial. Because I can pick a lot of favorites from this game, and I will never pick anybody from Trial 5.
You don't like Mike
They
Meek?
were not zany in the slightest. They were
No.
all regular ass people, and then the one child who happens to really like Luminol.
What, first of all, you don't like Mike Meekins?
Okay, he's okay.
Okay.
He,
Second
he
of
doesn't,
all,
he doesn't show
Jake
up enough.
Marshall is literally a Western cowboy. That's pretty zany.
I don't think they go far enough. He's not gimmicky enough.
He literally pulls out a knife to shave his fucking beard in the middle of talking to you.
His animation exudes personality, but his dialogue does not.
All right. So, I'm a basic guy. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
just look at me. I'm white. So, my favorite characters are gonna end up being Phoenix and Edgeworth. I'm having a hard time choosing which one I like more because I don't want to go based off of later games that I've already played. I
Okay.
think when I finished this game, my favorite character was Phoenix just because of how much I was able to be like, damn, he might be a dumbass, but he's like my kind of dumbass. Where he's smart, he just does stupid shit all the time. I felt a relatability to Phoenix when I first played this game. For my
So
least
here's my thing.
for my least favorite character, I'm gonna say Wendy. I can't stand Wendy.
An important interjection.
I said favorite and least favorite characters.
Yeah, I forgot that half of the question. My bad. So, my favorite character had to be, and this is just the objectively correct answer, Maya Fey. And this is because not what she is personally, but what she adds to the game's dynamic. She specializes in being the comedic relief character for which Phoenix and Edgeworth and all of the rest of the serious people in the law field can bounce off of. Nobody else treats life as a joke as much as she does, and that is the whole reason that the investigation sequences for the entire game are as entertaining as they are. If it was just Phoenix alone, it would be boring, and we have definitive proof of that being the case when Maya leaves for the 5th trial and the investigations go on forever and have nothing but talking with characters that don't have that comedic edge that Maya always
Yeah,
brings.
I like Emma Skye, but she is not a replacement for Maya.
She was
I
simply
don't-
too one note.
I don't particularly like Emma Skye that much. I'm neutral to her.
I mean, maybe I've got like a maybe I like her more since I voiced her, and I found even though I know her voice wasn't all too good, I ended up really liking what I did with it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I had fun playing the character. So
Well, yeah.
maybe that's why I like her more than I would have. Because I remember when I first played this game, I didn't really care. She was like, okay, she's the Maya replacement, whatever. But after this replay through, she's gone up a bit. All right. So are we just gonna consistently go in the order me, Chris Pratt, Quoth, and then you, Keeper, or are we just gonna someone want to interject whenever they feel like it? Because like
I'm fine with interjecting whenever, like, or whatever.
I mean, I feel like
I'm kind of racking my brain to try and answer this question right now.
It's actually very easy for me.
So go
It
ahead,
is-
give him some more time to think.
It is a tie for favorite between Manfred and Gant. I really
You
like
would.
both.
You would.
Least favorite is, of course, say it with me, boys. Lana Hart. I don't.
no,
like
I'm not going to say that.
Oh, who was your least favorite character, Chris Pratt? You never answered that part of the question.
I have to decide on that question.
You have to
Because-
decide.
The thing that I dislike most about a character is being forgettable and not entertaining. So even though my gut instinct is to say Salmonella, 100% hate when he's on screen, I like that I hate when he's on screen. I enjoy him as a character because
Yeah.
of how much of a terrible person he is.
You see,
So I
that's
think my least favorite would have to be someone boring.
that's why I don't like. Okay, I dislike Wendy Oldbag for a similar, but it's just weird. It's kind of the same thing of where it's like, I can't say Salmonella's my favorite character because when he shows up on screen, it's somebody to hate. Wendy, she's not forgettable. She's not like a boring character. I just can't stand her dialogue.
Heh.
It annoys me. I completely get the idea of like, you know, oh, boring is worst, and because I have some like certain like things that I have that are like that, where it's like, oh, this show's boring. It's not even like funny bad. But for Wendy, it was just she frustrates me to mind's end, and I'm just like, and it's not even like a funny frustration. Like I can laugh at Phoenix being like shoving his evidence in the prosecutor's face and paying the price for it. Sure, it's annoying, but like it's funny. When the Olbag comes on screen, I'm just like, I can't wait to listen to you talk about how much better you are, or how much better this person is than I am.
Very interesting. Okay.
All right, I'm trying really hard to separate like the characters in my head that I dislike as people from the ones that I just dislike interacting with.
Yeah.
Because I really like talking. I didn't really dislike Damon Gant as a person, but it was fun talking to him.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably so right now it's a 3-way tie, maybe 4 between depending on how wrong I've counted this, between April May, Wendy Oldbag, Jake Marshall, and I think that's it.
Did you not like my bimbo voice?
Damn.
No.
If I voiced April May, you definitely would have hated her the most.
Yes. That is correct. And that's for the character I like the most? Fuck, man. I don't know. Polly.
Polly.
Brian.
Fair enough.
Polly was pretty great. It's either him or the dog.
Missile?
Yeah, Missile.
You
I was
didn't.
gonna say Rocket, but that's John's dog.
Did you not like Phoenix?
Phoenix he's a fucking dumbass. He's cool, I guess.
Gumshoe, Jeremy. Gumshoe.
Yeah, Gumshoe's cool.
No.
Gumshoe's cool. Actually, it might be Gumshoe. It's either Gumshoe or the Blue Badger.
Ooh, yeah, the Blue Badger, the unsung hero.
Okay. After
I-
giving it thought, on my least favorite character,
He's
even though I voiced him, I have to say the Bellboy was the most useless character in the game.
What do you mean? He
And-
showed up in 2 trials.
He showed up in 2 trials,
he
and
showed up-
neither of them did he do anything.
He showed up.
Yeah.
He showed up more often than Penny Nichols.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I
Okay,
forgot about Penny
Was
Nichols.
equally forgettable, but I kind of liked when she was on screen. So otherwise, I would go with Lana Skye because I really thought her being
Yeah.
just the worst possible defendant for her.
Forgot about Angel Star. I did not like interacting with Angel Star at
Oh
all.
God, Angel Star. I didn't like Angel Star either.
I did my best to try to make her likable, and there wasn't much to work with.
No.
No, I liked her.
She's just so fucking annoying.
She is. And it's great.
All
I
right.
love
disagree.
So before we like get too deep, like before we start like going through the trials and start like picking stuff apart, I want to ask, because I'm pretty sure all of us on the left and middle side of the courtroom can all say that, you know, the majority of the characters, you know, are likable.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask the new player, Mr. Quoth over here,
Oh, shit.
did you think the majority of the characters were enjoyable? Because they do kind of make or break this type of game.
I think so. I wasn't like keeping track, but I'm pretty sure.
I
I'm
think
like
if you had
90%.
if you had a good time, then I feel like it's comfortable to say that, you know.
I think.
All right.
I'm pretty sure. We look at the cast.
Oh my God.
Did you like Cody Hackins?
You know, I
Cody
did.
Hackins is Great.
Did you like Yanni Yogi?
Yeah, he was pretty good. I kind of wish they didn't use the same animation for him waking up quite so many times.
Did you like Frank Solid?
Who? Yes, maybe. I don't really remember a bunch about him.
Did you like Marvin Grossberg?
You like me?
Do not
Yeah,
do,
Grossberg was great.
do not go through
Really?
every character in the.
No,
No,
we
no,
have
no.
to though. We're
The
trying to
fact
make
that
it.
it
We have
said-
to make a list.
He said Grossberg was great. I think Grossberg being great means that every character is great automatically, because Martin Grossberg was not that great of a character.
I think I just like the hemorrhoids joke. I don't
Yeah.
And
really
he,
even.
and he didn't even say it. He
didn't.
does it
I know.
he does it in later games.
I
But
know.
we just kept running with it.
They forgot to give him a quirk in this game.
Yeah.
I think that's the entire reason I like him, and it's not even a canonical reason.
Well, I mean, technically it's a canonical reason. It's just a reason that hasn't been brought up yet in the canon of the game. It's later. It's gonna happen.
He probably developed it because of this game.
All right. So do we have any more questions? Like any of you else have questions before we start going into like the trials and talking about how they are. I have one more, but I want to save it for last before the trial discussion starts.
Sure. I don't have any questions. I just want to read my essay eventually.
Yeah.
What is your essay entail? Do you think now would be a good time to start it, or?
I feel like it's pretty like a good way to encapsulate my feelings on the game, but mostly it's a way to encapsulate my feelings on Trial 5. So
I mean,
maybe I
is
should say-
it segmented? Is it like there's the trial 1 paragraph and then the trial
No,
2 paragraph?
there is no paragraphs on any specific trial, but I do talk at length at why Trial 5 is bad and a blemish
Okay.
on the game.
So I guess then we can probably go through everything, and then when we
Yeah,
get
let's
to
go
trial
through
5, we can start with your eloquent essay,
All right.
and then
So
use that as a springboard.
for my final question, Quoth, I actually don't expect you to answer unless you can think of something. This one.
I forgot about Red White. I forgot he existed.
Yeah,
But-
you know, it's funny because I was looking through my list and I knew I wanted to do that thing where I said all the characters I voiced and do their voice. And I forgot what Red White sounded like. I forgot what voice I gave him. So I
also
looked
forgot.
back and it was literally just like this Gundam Tanaka-esque kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of all you can give him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way he talks.
Yeah.
My final question's actually two. I
What?
thought of another one. So my first one, what was your guys' favorite bit of ours during the stream?
Oh, Blue Badger. I love the Blue Badger so much.
I think it's no surprise. Interesting. Sorry, I got a DM real quick. I think my favorite bit is no surprise is gonna have to be which boob do we investigate?
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
I rewatched that clip the other day and I was still laughing.
It's an all-time classic.
now I feel like a bitch because I did not get through all the videos like I said I would.
I didn't.
I have a specific one line delivery that was the best of the entire stream, all of it.
If you'd like, you could give us a timestamp and I can play it.
I don't remember the time
All
stamp,
right.
but
What the hell was the
I'm sure
line?
Nathan will find it. It was
Was in the first
Mr. Wrong,
Oh,
wasn't it?
yes.
And just for the rest of the trial, he would say Mr. Wrong, and he would make a pause and then
pause.
say wrong instead of I'm sorry. It was in the game originally, and it was funny then, but I'm glad that it got extended upon in our
Yeah.
playthrough.
And then after I said it so many times, you as the judge started saying it.
Yeah.
And then we were both just saying it, and
Started
the
hitting him
whole
with the
time Jeremy and
Pavlovian
Phoenix was
technique.
so defeated sounding.
It's hurt
Like-
every time.
It was so good. And then I remember the next trial after or whatever, you said it like a couple times as the judge, but
Yeah.
because Red White wasn't there anymore, it didn't live much longer.
My other favorite actual bit was the Family Guy bit. That
Oh.
had to have been it. That was
Oh,
the
that
one
was
that got me
good.
laughing the most consistently. So
All right. What about you, Keeper?
There's so many good choices. So many different universes.
While you
The
think
tab
about, never mind.
the tab bun bit that. Oh well, that was more of like
Oh, the tab.
The like the game dialogue bit where it was like,
yeah.
press this to do this, and it was just like, I don't have that button. I'm using an Xbox controller, Mia.
Yeah, I actually have a timestamp for that one if you want it.
Yeah, you know what? Sure. Let me kill down this audio real quick, and you can send
It's
it over.
it's in the first episode, and it's from 42:35 to 43:38.
42:35.
42:35, yes.
All right, you guys probably won't be able to hear it until you hear it on stream, which is a bit unfortunate, but there we go.
Found the contradicting evidence, present it, and rub it in the witness's face. Literally.
You didn't happen to save any of your clips, did you?
Absolutely.
Me?
Open
Yeah,
the court
I don't know if
record
they
with
last
tab,
forever.
Then point out contradicting
Because I know I
Uh,
clipped
testimony.
Mr. Wrong
Okay.
bit.
See, there's two things wrong with that.
I think the
One,
clips do
the
last
tab
forever.
Button in real life can't do that. And second, there's no tab button on my Xbox One
Phoenix.
controller.
Phoenix. Did you
Come
not
on, find it.
learn about tab in your
I was
basic
told-
lawyer
Yeah, they
school?
definitely do.
Really
Oh,
basic
I can't see him though.
In
How
my
did you
textbook,
fucking
I
set
had
it to
no-
top all instead of top
I
24
would
hours?
make the call exam a little
Um,
harder if I knew
are you
you
just,
didn't know what the
um,
tab button was.
Are you
I was
showing it on the
told
stream,
the
or
standard
is just
controller
audio?
was an Afterglow Xbox 360 controller, so I sprung for an official Xbox One. And what I was not told is that there would be a tab button
I only
requirement, which
see
isn't on my
The
Xbox
two
One
most recent
controller.
streams though.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm just
What
gonna
did you
have
do
to-
before?
I don't. Something's wrong with you. I
Oh, I
don't.
found it, I found it,
I think
found it.
my
Okay.
favorite part about this clip is one, the clip's just funny, and then after like as the clip is ending, you just have Green coming into stream chat saying, "Am sad, need big titty defendant GF"
Oh my god.
at the
Yeah.
very end of the clip. It's a pretty good bit. It's a pretty good bit. Before we continue, anybody got any like recommendations for what Ace Attorney song I should put on next? Because we're about to hit the cap for this song.
Detention Center.
Detention Center. I'll put on Detention Center.
My favorite one.
All
I
right.
don't
So
even care that it sounds sad as shit. It's so good.
my favorite, or not favorite. A while ago, I saw a tweet saying that. Alright, sorry. A while ago, I saw a tweet, kind of about when you were halfway through the game, saying something along the lines of like, "Oh, you know, Ace Attorney is like a road trip with friends where you're all just being stupid the entire way through."
Mhm.
And second I heard that, I was like, "Damn, I like that idea," because like to me, it just feels like a bunch of playing Ace Attorney with a bunch of people. For me, it gives that same vibe of just sitting there, you know, in a car, goofing the fuck off. Since what the fuck else are you gonna do for a 16-hour drive? So I guess my question is, did you guys? Jeremy can't really answer this, but did you guys prefer playing the games by yourself or playing the game with other people?
I think playing the game with other people dramatically changed the overall tone of the game.
Yes.
Because when I was playing it alone, it was like very serious. It was like I was legitimately acting as a lawyer and trying to figure things out myself and doing my very best to, you know, seriously defend my client. And it felt like empowering in a way. And that was fun in a completely different way than doing funny voices and making jokes about the dialogue in a video game. It's a very different experience, and I think both have their merits.
All right, so you have the cop-out answer. What a bitch.
I vastly prefer with friends. It's just the bits we did, getting to do all the silly voices and stuff. It is so much fun. I love it.
All right, and then what about? I like I said, I know you can't really answer since you haven't.
I guess
played
it was
yourself.
pretty fun with friends. I mean,
But would you? Do you think you would have preferred playing it by yourself? And that's my question.
Fifth Amendment.
You can tell us, like, we're not gonna feel
Yeah, I know
offended.
the answer.
We're not.
Jeremy never would have played it without us.
You know what?
That's Hmm.
I don't know, man. There's a chance that's true.
That said, the Miles Edgeworth investigations games are boring as shit if you're alone, and if we did it with friends, they wouldn't be. They would be very fun.
Yeah, they'd be so.
I
good.
see. I see. All right. Well
It
then,
would be such a treat.
I think it's. Do we want to start talking about Do we want to talk immediately about trials, or do we want to talk about trials and investigations like as a whole first? If that makes sense.
we got to do them as a whole, like episode by episode, not I guess trials.
Okay. Well, what I meant is like, do we want to like talk about how our feelings were on the trials and investigations, just like as a
okay.
whole in general. But I feel like you're right. I feel like we should just go from trial to trial, not trial to trial, case to case, and we can talk about because I think the investigations wildly differ from case to case.
They do.
My biggest example is going to be the jump from case 2's investigation to case 3's investigation.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so case 1, which is it's just a trial. I mean, it's the tutorial of the game, but I think it's handled really well.
Yeah.
I think
So,
Are we just gonna talk about the game itself, but or also like specifically how we experienced the game and some of the bits that arose and such?
we're sort of kind of just like get everyone's like opinions on the game,
yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not really sure what my original purpose for this table talk was, but I still like the idea, so I'm gonna keep going with it.
Okay. Can I talk about why I think the first trial is too hard?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, this is the first Ace Attorney game in the series.
Yeah.
When I first played this game, having no exposure to the game whatsoever, I found this trial to be unbelievably difficult, and I kept having to have my friend guide me through it because I couldn't figure any of the shit out, because I don't think the DS version of the game explained things thoroughly enough. Like, they don't tell you that there's no punishment for pressing until like 2 trials in. I think it's not until trial 2 that you have to press,
Oh my
but
god.
pressing is massively beneficial to you if you do it for every statement, and if you don't, you're gonna be like really struggling. And also, save scumming is really bad in the DS version, so that didn't help either. So like, they also don't tell you can investigate your evidence itself. So I kind of was just reading the descriptions and thinking, that's all the information that there is on this, but you have to actually click on the autopsy or actually click on like the clock to figure out things about it, and they don't tell you that. So that was very difficult for me in particular on my first playthrough. Having now played the rest of the series, this is laughably easy, so I don't know how I feel about that.
So what I'm hearing is you just got absolutely rolled by fucking
Yeah.
DS mechanics.
You got
Yes.
to roll,
I thought the first trial was the hardest one in the series, even after beating Trials and Tribulations in full. I thought there was nothing harder than the first trial.
My god.
So, I don't know. I'd just say for beginners, this trial's a slog, and once you get through it, it's all uphill from there. But when you're replaying it, it's actually really fun, and the characters are great.
I was gonna say
so.
I don't think the show's a slog. At least I think in the HD the HD trilogy version, I think it's not a slog for the sole reason of like I said, I think you just got absolutely destroyed by DS mechanics. But since this version doesn't suffer that same fate, you're kind of like told like off, pressing doesn't, absolutely destroy you. I feel like the check evidence button is much clearer, so you can be like, oh, let me look at this autopsy report better. And also, I think because you just jump straight from like starting the game to trial with no evidence, part of that's a bit scary, but at the same time, I think it gives you the flow for the trials much quicker, and because it lets you just be able to be like, I don't know. Well, when I first played it, I just kind of got that like rush of excitement every time I realized when Mr. Sod over there was lying through his fucking teeth.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know how to break that. I know how to break that one.
Mhm.
I can't.
Not me. I'm stupid, so it was really hard the whole way through.
I actually have
You were
You were
excuse
just
me for
flying through this trial.
Sorry,
I
sorry.
was not. What are you
You
talking
were
about?
having no issues until like halfway through Trial 2. I don't think.
Excuse me for bringing up something.
Well, that's because
now,
I'd already played Trial 1
yeah,
before.
I was gonna say, when you played Trial 1 originally at my house, you were popping off when you were like,
That's because
when
Liam
you-
was there and it was fun. We were just fucking. every time we figured something out, we would just like scream.
it was awesome.
Yeah. No, that rush of excitement is exactly what the series does really well. And so, I mean, I liked it from Trial 2 onwards once I realized that the game's bullshit was actually, made sense.
The bullshit wasn't completely
Jeremy,
bullshit.
I actually have a question for you, Mr.
Yeah.
Quap Bridington, Jeremy. How did you feel about Phoenix in the first trial? Because one thing I noticed when I was watching the first episode is there were a lot of moments where you were in the middle of one of Phoenix's lines, and then you were just like, no, fuck you, Phoenix. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
I don't. What was he saying?
Mostly when he does puns.
Oh,
There's a couple moments where, like when he tries to console Larry, and Larry's just like, I want the death penalty, I'm gonna die. The whole time you're just like, no, yeah, sure, cool.
oh no,
Larry,
yeah, that was
cool,
just
Larry, go
me
ahead, die.
riffing.
It was just
Yeah.
for a bit, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just for the bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
Phoenix was
but-
alright. I don't know.
That wasn't the only time, though. You did do that kind of stuff a couple times.
Yeah, I think I was just joking around. I like puns. I don't know.
I like Jeremy's take on Phoenix in the first trial because he was such an arrogant bastard. Like, I passed the bar
He was
exam, I'm the
great.
smartest person in existence. Like, but the real Phoenix is just this cowardly idiot,
Yeah.
and it's also charming. So
I don't got much else to say on Trial 1. I think it's a great entry point. All the other games keep this up from here to my knowledge of just immediately putting you into a trial instead of evidence. And I think I prefer that. So it's like
Yeah.
starting off the games with a trial and not having to go through the entire evidence or not evidence, investigation phase.
Yeah.
Because it's a good way to get you excited for the game, I think, because sometimes the investigations can drag on. We'll talk about that later, but throwing you straight into the action at the beginning of each game is I think that's the best way to start a game like this. In a case like Danganronpa, it's the exact opposite because you kind of need that build up before a murder.
Mhm.
But Ace Attorney doesn't have that build up since there's no personal connection to the victims. It's all just you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
yeah,
And,
later games do like a really good job of having you have personal connections to everything that happens, and I think that makes it more intense. This game was kind of more isolated.
Yeah, but
But
I think it's fair
in a way.
considering it's the first one.
I
Yeah.
think the simplicity of the first game actually really helps it because
Although I think I will admit, the first game is the one I remember the best out of the main three.
exactly
Reminding you that I have not finished the third game.
somehow.
But the
Well-
first game is definitely the one I remember the best, and I think it has the most characters I like as well.
All right, anything else we want to mention here before we go on to the next one? I do want to hear Jeremy's thoughts since again he is the newcomer.
My thoughts on what?
The first trial, just as a
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mr. TX.
It was really fun the first time I played it, and the second time I don't know, it was less fun but still fun.
I like that.
what great words. Really.
Actually, really stinging when you hear what I have to say in my essay.
Oh god. All right.
Boo.
So other than that, are we good to move on to case 2?
Um,
All right.
Yeah.
I think this is like when I think of like a full Ace Attorney case that doesn't necessarily like need to have like anything super heavily related to the story involved with it. Like for example, because I feel like it's unfair to like judge a case like case 2 against something like case 4, or later cases that I'm not going to mention here, for spoiler reasons.
Yeah.
But I think as a Ace Attorney filler case, as I'll call it, I think that's like, to me, this is the shining example of it. Out of all the games, I think this game is like the shining example of like the Ace Attorney filler case, and it's not even that much filler considering the trial starts with Mia dying and Maya, who's also a very important character.
Yeah. The inciting incident.
The inciting incident, yeah. But the way the investigation plays out and the way the trial plays out, to me it screams like this is what generic Ace Attorney is, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it is the star of generic Ace Attorney cases.
Yeah.
That's
Trial 2 was the one where Mia died, right?
yes.
Yeah.
April, May, Red, White.
Yeah,
Rutherford, Maya gets introduced. Miles gets introduced.
Yeah.
Dick
Yeah.
Gumshoe gets
Here's
introduced.
what I have to say about this trial. This is objectively the best case 2 in the series.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I ended up saying, huh?
Because this perfectly introduces the characters that become mainstays for the entire rest of the series. It introduces Maya in a very like personal fashion, which makes you want to be attached to Maya by literally, killing her sister and all that. It instantly.
That's how you would become attached to any girl. Just kill her sister.
Yeah, just kill her sister. Exactly. So
Instant
I
bond.
think having her
a
like
blood
that, be established as a person who's grieving and still has like this heart of gold and like this comedy instinct within her. I don't know how to word that even remotely intelligently, but yeah. And then we have the entire conflict of, oh my god, Miles Edgeworth is supposed to be the best prosecutor in existence, and I've only won one case before. How is that going to happen? And then he has this flimsy prosecution that you completely wipe the floor with. I think that makes you, it gives you a confidence boost to be like, oh, when the stakes get risen in the upcoming cases, I've already beaten the best prosecutor in the entire world, so I'm gonna be able to do this.
It also
played
yeah,
the best,
until-
and I won.
Until Trial 4, where you realize his daddy is the best prosecutor, actually.
No, Gregory Edgeworth was a defense attorney.
No, Karma. Didn't he?
his adopted
His
father.
daddy.
Yeah.
I
Master
also
Karma, he's got a perfect record. He's never lost.
So do I, though.
This trial also this trial also uses the updated autopsy report, which is the most bullshit thing in the entire series, and I will always love it for being the most bullshit thing in the entire series.
So good.
Just the feeling of victory you have of like, ha, dumbass, you're like, how did you miss this? And he's like, loser. I got the fucking report updated, and I don't know. I love the. This is gonna make me sound like a masochist. I swear I'm not. But I love that. I love that feeling of being like, "Fuck you, I won," and then immediately just being crushed again and being like, "Well, shit. Now I gotta work up a whole new case."
Yeah, it's hope and despair. That familiar feeling.
I'm gonna
I
kick
don't like
him.
it.
I'm
I don't
gonna.
like the bait and switch.
I'm gonna kick him.
It just makes me angry at the legal system.
Angry at the legal
That is
system.
literally the point of the game. It's a parody of the Japanese legal system. It's the whole shtick.
Investigation-wise, I think this is the best investigation in this game.
Yeah,
It's quick. It doesn't go on too long. It's not.
and every time you find something, it's cool, like a wiretap.
Yeah, it's not overly reliant on talking to people. Like a lot of later investigations just become like, oh, talk to this person a bunch. Cool.
Mhm.
Now you can go to this new area to find a new item for your evidence. Now that you have this new item for your evidence, go talk to this person for like 4 different dialogue boxes. And it just becomes it becomes a slog. But with this game, I feel like, not this game, this case, because of, it being the second one, it's only 2 days long, it's able to just not drag. You're able to just kind of be like, cool, I found a wiretap. Holy shit, this is gonna be really useful in my case.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get a screwdriver and you're like, what the fuck do I do with this?
Drive some screws.
Other than
Yeah.
that, for me personally, the characters in this trial, other than the bellhop, who's kind of just there, I think everyone who was
What do
part
you
of
mean he
this.
brings tea?
I feel like Chris Pratt's performance really added a lot of spice to the bellhop that endeared me to him.
I made
More
him
than-
sound like a beetle, and it didn't work.
It made him sound like a beetle, and it didn't
That's what I was
work.
going for. I was going for Paul McCartney, and then it didn't happen.
I liked his voice though. I felt
liked-
it weirdly fit.
I like the April May bait and switch. I like how when she goes angry, the heart on her jacket flips upside down. I think it's a little nice design touch. I think Red White is the perfect JoJo villain. I can't wait to see him in Part 9.
Yeah.
Like the second I saw this man after watching JoJo, I think I played the game for the first time before watching JoJo. So doing it again and just seeing him, I'm like, he's just a JoJo villain.
He's a JoJo villain. Yeah.
He's Funny Valentine, Dio, and Kira all slapped together,
yeah.
but like still human
yeah.
and not vampire. But
Yeah.
he's got the muscles of Dio, the hair of Kira, and
And the American
and the
of Funny Valentine.
American of Funny Valentine. Exactly, you get it. I don't know. I think Red White's a good villain.
Mhm.
Oh, and fucking Maya, of course. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Chris Pratt over here already basically explained why Maya is one of the best characters in the franchise.
Yep.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
Uh,
The gumshoes also pretty great.
Miles.
Oh, yeah.
Miles is a cock in this case, but I think it's necessary for later cases.
He's only like a baby cock.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. Anyways, ignoring those two words being used back to back.
Do you not like the word cock?
Immediately after the word baby, I don't like it. I love how much of a cock he is in this trial because it's his worst prosecution in the series.
Yeah.
Like it's the one where he just does the worst job.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how it feels because it's the second one in the series, so it's got to be easy,
Yeah.
But-
yeah.
The last thing about this trial that I want to mention is the reason this trial is so pivotal for the series is it set the precedent that all of the case 2s have to be massive and have rippling effects that last the rest of the game. And I think this game did a good job at setting up Marvin Grossberg, who would be pivotal in Trial 4, and
Yeah.
having Mia Fey established as this lingering presence that inspires Phoenix to do what he does.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's I really like this trial. I think it's like I said. I think it's like if you want like a basic Ace Attorney case, that's not gonna that's not something like near the end. So like I said, a lot of the end trials in these games are really good. Like I think every end trial in each 3 games is outstanding, but they're all in their own category because they're meant to be the conclusion to the game. They gotta finalize something as something that's not supposed to as a case that's not supposed to finalize something. I think that's what Ace Attorney should be. Without introducing 8 new characters, of course, every time, but I really like this trial. That's not clear. It's not my favorite, but it's up there.
All right, we only need one more opinion, and that is of Quoth.
It was a good trial.
Everybody clap.
Better than the first one. Definitely better than the third one. Better than the fifth one. I don't remember the fourth one.
I
you
don't
will.
remember the fourth one.
You
That's
will.
the one with Edgeworth, right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they all have Edgeworth in them, but it's the
It was
first
better
one.
than the fourth one.
Ooh, wow, strong opinion.
I don't I don't know. That trial just felt
It had
really
Wendy Oldbeck
long.
and Lotta Hart.
The one where Manfred von Karma is the prosecutor.
Wait, no, it didn't.
I remember that trial. It was just, I don't know. Trying to remember. I'm just going off my gut here because I don't remember a ton about that trial.
Yeah,
I just remember I remember what it was. I did no idea where the fuck to go in that trial ever.
True.
Not
Yeah.
a single time.
Yeah, that one's.
Yeah.
I remember us just walking around being like, "Is it at the boat shop?
I just
Yeah.
remember going to the
No.
boat shop like 18 times.
Is
It's like
it-
it had to be there.
Is it at
That's
the
right.
detention center? Nope. Is it at the Grossberg office? Nope.
We'll get to that problem with Trial 4 when we get to
Yeah.
it.
How did you feel about how did you feel about everybody's introductions? Because like we were talking about earlier, a lot of characters get introduced here.
Yeah, it was solid.
Oh my god.
Exactly as smart as Phoenix Wright.
you walk up to Phoenix after like a movie and you'd be like, yeah, Phoenix, how was that movie? And he's like, it was good.
That samurai sure was steel.
Yeah. That magistrate, evil as shit, bro.
Dude, I mean, wow.
He was
What
so
a that
was so
oof,
evil.
that woman really did die.
Good
I
lord.
gotta hand it to her.
That
She-
infant?
She really,
Really
hit the
was iron.
ground. Yeah, uh-huh.
So before we continue, I have a question.
Those blood orphans.
I do have a final question for you all.
Uh-huh.
Which one?
What?
Which one?
Oh, fuck you.
I don't
Oh,
Oh, damn it.
we're
oh.
going both this time.
Damn, he's going
What?
both.
Don't make me pick a favorite.
Don't
Oh,
make me pick a favorite.
Well, wait.
Like yin and yang. You cannot have left without right.
Oh my god.
That's the stupidest thing I've heard in my fucking life.
What are you talking about?
He
If there
does-
were no right, there
he-
would be no left.
He doesn't remember which one. What a tragedy. Just the silence. All right. It's time to bully Trial 3.
You don't like Trial 3?
Here,
Do the
okay.
honors.
So here's my opinion on Trial 3. I think the actual trial for Trial 3 is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think the investigation for Trial 3 is where it begins to start showing signs of, okay, can we get on with this? As Chris Pratt over here said earlier, Maya makes the investigations better, but even she alone can't save them from just dragging on and on.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
if Maya wasn't there, I genuinely don't think I would be able to rank this series as high as I could, for the sole purpose of just it'd be so hard for me to get through other portions.
Yeah.
Just because of how boring investigations would be without Maya. Because they're still kind of boring with her there.
I don't fucking goddamn movie lot, dude.
Also, the movie lot's just awful to
That
navigate.
goddamn stupid ass movie lot.
Awful to navigate. So bad.
Every time I thought I was about to break through a new wall, it's like, oh bullshit, here's a new character. Also, you have to go across the map.
Yeah, you want to hear my biggest issue with Trial 3's investigation?
What?
You have to take off the cardboard before you can talk to Cody Hackins. I didn't know you could pan the camera left
Oh my
for
god.
2 hours.
Why?
So
Every
imagine
time you,
my frustration with this investigation upon first
every
play.
time you talk about like your struggles with the game, it's always just the DS screwed me over.
Well, no, that one was my bad. It was a giant left, like red arrow on the touchscreen. How I didn't see it is beyond me, but still, that
my
was
God.
the least pleasant thing when I had to look up a guide for the investigation, and I saw pan the camera left and investigate the obvious cardboard.
Oh my god.
Did it just say like Dum Dum? You had to look up a guide for this?
Exactly. I looked up a guide for a majority of this game. I was very dumb when I first played this game.
So like I said, I think the trials are. I'll say they are, but I actually really like the trial. I kind of like all the witnesses you have to go through. It kind of makes it feel like an actual case in this time, because before it was just, oh, you spoke to Gumshoe, you spoke to the defendant. This person's not the real culprit, but she helped. The bellhop's here, and then now it's the culprit. With this one, you were interacting with like the whole like movie crew, so it actually felt like what I feel. I haven't had jury duty yet, but it feels like what I think a court case would be in terms of like calling up witnesses to be like, okay, these are the people who were here. These are people who can tell us what happened.
Yeah.
I like that part about it. I also really like it in terms of this game's story, which is very focused on the relationship between Phoenix and Edgeworth finally meeting each other again. Well, in this case, it's not really focused on... This trial doesn't really focus on that part of it, but what it focuses on is, like, Edgeworth becoming less of a cock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I remember when I played this game for the first time and I got to the scene in the last trial section where Vasquez is about to get away and she's like, Phoenix can't do anything else, and Edgeworth is the one who has to stop him with like the world's worst objection in the world. I literally think the line something where it's like he says objection, the judge is like, yes, and he responds with, indeed, verily, ergo. I love that scene because it's
One of two times he does that.
Yeah. It's as Phoenix says, I think immediately after that scene, he immediately says to Maya, Edgeworth realized who's at fault here. Which is, I feel like it's important for, Edgeworth, considering when we first meet him, all we're given is he'll do anything to get a guilty verdict. So we're automatically just meant to assume that, Edgeworth over here is some, awful-ass prosecutor who's just like, okay, I figured out who the real killer was, but I'm not going to care about justice, I'm going to do my job. We're meant to believe that, but when he finally calls out Vasquez, it's, I don't know. I got a huge boost of, serotonin when that happened. Because I'm like, fuck yeah, Edgeworth!
The way that exact plot point is resolved is why I like 4 and 5 as much as I do.
4 and 5?
Yeah. No, I'll get to that good part of 5 when we get to 5, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of characters, I do think this is probably the weakest for me personally.
no, you're wrong. No, this is the strongest of characters in any of the trials. If it weren't for the characters being as interesting as they are, I would not have gotten past this trial.
You see, I disagree. I don't like Wendy Oldbag. Penny
Okay.
Nichols is boring. Cody Hackins is a child.
But
Yeah.
he's great though.
But he's a
I like Cody Hackins. He's probably one of the higher characters up here. I like Will Powers. I think Will Powers is great.
Yeah, Will Powers is great.
Yeah.
And then Salmonella adds comedy, and then D. Vasquez. I think D. Vasquez is a cool villain.
D. Vasquez is amazing too. Exactly. So
I don't love D. Vasquez.
I think it really just comes down to how much I hate Wendy, and then Penny's just kind of there, and so is Salmonella. Salmonella is slightly above Penny and Wendy, just because I can laugh at how awful he is.
with DS sprite work, I thought D. Vasquez had the hottest sprite in the game.
Dude, she's like 50 years old.
Yeah, they really toned down her wrinkles in that version of the game, so I thought she was like 30 or something.
The D. Vasquez, the French chain smoking MILF.
Yeah, the French chain smoking MILF. Yeah,
I don't
the
I
coolest
don't
thing
like
she
that.
did in the entire trial was pull up a bunch of mafia men that actually brought the most tension of the entire game all at once.
That's true. That scene got me very tense.
it got me so tense, and then it got resolved so well. Like, I think that was the highlight of the investigation portion of this trial.
I remember that happening. I don't remember any of the context or how I felt.
You basically, I think you go up to her and you're like, "Hey,
We know you-
It's not we know you did it. It's you know something about
Yeah.
like I think we call her out for blackmailing Jack Hammer.
Yeah. And I think at the time she's outside of the trailer, just in
She's
the
in the
outside area.
No. He's right. She's outside the trailer and she's like, I don't want to talk about this here. Let's go in. Let's go inside. And you go in, and then all the Mothman are there, and you're just like,
And then she steps in and she's like,
Yes.
hey,
Here's the
so,
VOD.
Stop. It's great.
The VOD was very easy to find because the thumbnail is that exact scene.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I used the Mafia Man as the background.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be right
The
back.
biggest Phoenix fuck up in the entire game. Quite amusing.
For real though, are you kid? Like, come on, man. Like,
No. I still think the biggest fuck up is going up to Manfred von Karma and being like, "We got the evidence that's gonna win our case," and then he just straight up tases you. I think that's the biggest Phoenix fuck up. Because I don't think Phoenix expected, D. Vasquez to pull out a full-on mafia on him. But Manfred von Karma, despite being 60, is much bigger than Phoenix. He should have been prepared to deal with something.
Yeah.
Everyone say hi and hi to my friend Shael in chat. She is currently probably less than 100 feet away from me in her own dorm room.
very nice. I figured out. I went back and watched the VOD to see how I handled the situation. It was essentially just me and Nathan ragging on Phoenix for being stupid and questioning where they were hiding.
Questioning where they were hiding. It's a good question. Where were they hiding?
Because we were in that room for like a full minute before they showed up.
I will barge in your room. Don't start. Please don't. Wait, why is my stream chat not showing up?
That's a good question.
What you guys talking about?
Are you sure she
we're
didn't
about
just
to move on
text
to
you?
trial 4 unless we have any objections. Do you see what I did there?
No, I don't get it.
Objection!
Thank you, Mr.
What the
Payne.
hell was that? Was that a Wendy Oldbag as a
That was
prosecutor?
Winston Payne.
No, that was a Winston Payne.
Oh,
Have you never
fuck.
heard
Damn
of
good one at that. I got it immediately. I was like, well,
I don't know, man. I don't. It was a long time ago.
Object before?
That was like a full year ago, man.
Yeah,
you know,
I was
lift the chair up.
you don't remember the Dark Side Universe Squidward objection, Phoenix?
What does that even mean?
The fuck? Oh yeah, that's right.
What you called his voice.
Yeah, I remember.
And he sounded like the Darkest Universe Squidward or something like
I
that.
just am testing in the Why's my chat box not showing up?
Yeah, you said, my
There's
god,
nothing in the
this is
chat.
the
I don't know.
Darkest Timeline version of Squidward in response to my voice for...
There's my
the-
message.
Are you seeing it pop up or no?
I see my message that I just typed. I didn't see anything you wrote.
No, not on the screen though.
No.
Interesting. Why did it not?
Oh.
No, okay, but I came to ask, do you have tape, and if so, can I use it? I do have tape.
Can she use it?
No.
You gotta answer the follow up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
She can use it once we're done here.
Unfortunately, out of all my performances, I think D. Vasquez is the one I really dropped the ball on.
Oh no, it was fine. It was
I
really. It
think-
was pretty good.
I think you could have been a little raspier.
And a little filthier.
Because honestly, the way you were doing her voice, too damn silky smooth, guy.
No, that's exactly what I imagined.
Why though? She smokes. She
No.
does nothing but smoke.
No.
All
the-
she does is act cocky and smoke.
He made up for it because that's why he kept breathing so heavily in between. all
No.
the
Oh
lines.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about
The
that.
amount of air passing through.
He told me to put it by the door. I'm gonna scream.
she I went with a lower, more sultry voice and then just took breaths of smoke in between. And also because it kind of takes attention then. 'Cause
It
she's
matches
one-
the animation too.
Yeah. And also because a lot of the characters speak very fast. So having a character who speaks slower, at least I thought, would help grab attention more, because then you just have to wait for her to finish. You know what I mean?
Hey, Andrew, you're the only guy who's played Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton, right?
Yeah.
Who the hell is Lord Lord Jeekin Barnrod?
I don't remember that being his name even in the slightest, but that sounds like the judge, Lord.
He's dressed in a full suit of armor and he's got a sword and a green cape. Or maybe this is fan art.
I'm
He
sorry,
also might be in a
please
pink
repeat
polo.
the name.
Lord
I thought his name was-
Jeekin Barnrod.
I don't. I'm thinking of. Okay,
He's got like red hair.
I'm thinking Lord Van
The
Zeek, but
tan-
that can't be it.
Okay,
Racist? What the fuck? No,
Racist.
so
Lord Van Zeek's is. Oh wait, he is racist. That's right. I forgot.
Oh
about
shit.
that. Lord Van Zeek's is racist. That's actually part of the canon.
Oh, that's hilarious. I would like this fucker. This is the racist.
Oh no, that's not even close to the same guy. That's not
Okay,
even
cool.
an important character. That's like a side character. I think.
All right, radical.
Please show me the name. I got to remember exactly what his role was.
Yo, it's Lord
Yeah.
Jeekin Barnrod.
Jeekin with two E's. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Jeekin.
Yo, Jeekin.
Yo, you gotta be Jeekin.
Sir Zacharias Barnum? His name is Zacharias Barnum. I do remember Barnum. I don't
On IMDb
Barnrod.
it's Jeekin Barnrod. on everywhere I can find on the internet he's Jeekin Barnrod.
okay, so for some reason it just looks like the Twitch chat box widget on Streamlabs just kind of broke.
Damn.
All right. Anyways,
That's,
anything else about Trial 3 that you guys want to touch on?
Trial 3.
No, I'm pretty set on Trial 3. I thought it was
Uh,
good. I think it needed more to do with the overall plot of the game, but as you mentioned, there was that brief moment of Edgeworth's like battle with the truth as opposed to winning. So that I guess made up for it.
I didn't like all the walking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lucky.
that's an issue. All right, so
I didn't like that for a brief period. Wendy Oldbag was the person I saw the second most.
that was
Yeah.
that was a very frightening time.
Never in a man's life should he have to look in the mirror and say, Wendy Oldbag is the second most important person in my life.
So true.
Wendy Oldbag's voice was so fun, but my voice hurt at the end of every stream.
I can tell.
That it was
I
the
can feel it.
dualities, man.
Right, Trial 4, baby. This one's the big one.
This
The
is
big one.
Worse than
big
This is
Trial
the one
4,
with all the
but
story.
it basically is. All right.
Brian MVP.
I will.
Best character, 10 out of 10.
I will say. I do think the investigation is the biggest downplay
Mhm.
or downside of this trial. As we established, a lot of it is just being like, oh yeah, surely we have to go to this location to investigate next. And then just standing there like, well, this clearly isn't the location we're supposed to be, so where the hell are we supposed to go?
Yeah.
Out of this was Lotta's first appearance ever in the series, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
sadly, it will not be the last.
I'll never understand how you hate Lotta more than Wendy.
I'll
be
never understand
honest.
how you hate Wendy. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. My opinions on Lotta are very neutral.
I did like how at the very end of Trial 4, when Lotta just kind of gives up on the whole paranormal, or is it paranormal? No, it's when she gives up on the whole like trying to find Gordy, I was like, how do I I like my bit of just making her so depressed that she just starts doing fucking she just starts abusing substance. It's weird. It's fucked up to say out loud, but
Yeah.
I really, I really, I really,
didn't even realize that it was that messed up. Okay.
I really like
Yeah,
it.
you know, just my lighthearted bit where Lotta gets so depressed over her life's work becoming shattered in front of her eyes that she falls victim to substance abuse.
Yeah, I noticed that. That was a good bit.
I
And it was
just really
really
I just really like sitting there just being like, well, got nothing else to do today. I'm gonna go
It
smoke
was
some pot.
It was the way that she did pot with such enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Really
Yeah,
cool.
no, like I don't. I think you only did that like once.
it was
No,
it was
it
at
was
it
way
was
more than
it was at the very end, so it was a very it wasn't a very long lived
I
bit.
remember it though because it was literally the kind of like stuff where I was like,
I think the bit began with Phoenix being like, yeah, your camera didn't go off because of Gordy. It went off because of because of this air tank, and I just immediately went, huh, that sucks. Want to go to the bar with me? just immediately, like, well, shit.
I remember distinctly like you doing something along the lines of I don't know why I think maybe Jeremy was like completely unprompted or whatever. You were just like something about like her car not smelling weird that doesn't smell like weed, like all defensively, and that they shouldn't investigate the back of her car,
I do remember
like
that.
that kind of shit.
I do remember that. That was a fucked up bit. Good lord.
I remember specifically your line delivery of "What the fuck did you just say to me?"
I mean,
I don't remember what the context was, but that was.
I
we
had
a lot of fucked up bits. We've established that the people in the Phoenix Wright universe eat iron powder, uranium salt, and aluminol fluid just casually.
Yeah.
This is great.
And
And,
we have
Batman
also
kills Mummy.
established that Gumshoe is basically insane and carries around Snickers bars that may or may not just be solid rods of plutonium.
It's great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
It's
know,
not
it is,
morally
but
ambiguous.
it's also kind of depressing.
I had
Yeah.
I had fun with a lot of heart, just because. I will admit
Yeah.
I do not think she is some shining character that I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'll never understand why Nathan hates Lana. Like I can see why. But I don't. Me personally, I don't think she's that bad because I think there's a lot you can work with her on in terms of like when reading for her.
Yeah,
Capcom
I
only
guess
uses it
I
for
guess
one
the thing for me is I feel like Wendy has a lot more to work with. She has a very her character is very fleshed out. I feel like Lotta is just kind of one note.
Oh
no,
no.
I
Wendy
just
gets flanderized just as much in the later games. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
she becomes just hyper focused on Edgeworth, and it's really distracting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still like the. God, I stutter so much. I like the idea that Lotta isn't doing it to like she's not purposely lying, and if she is, it's because she's hiding that she was there to take pictures of Gordy because she doesn't want to embarrass herself, which is admittedly a very stupid reason to lie in court.
Yeah.
She lies so she can get her scoops.
So
She lied not out of malicious
Oh,
intent.
that's what it
She
was.
lied
It was
because-
she was lying so that way no one else would hear the scoop before her.
Yeah, she wasn't lying out of malicious intent. She was lying because she's a dumbass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I see why you like her now. She is kind of a bro.
Okay, she's not a bro. Let's not go that far. She might be stupid, but that doesn't make her a bro.
I don't know.
I don't know. My brother's pretty dumb.
She doesn't fight for her friends.
A lot
Actually,
of
no, she doesn't have friends to fight for.
In one game, she does have a friend that she fights for.
Oh shit.
Except she also competes with her,
Oh.
which makes her more of a bro. So I mean, yeah, I guess in a sense.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it's like a friendly rivalry, though, right?
Yeah. It's a friendly rivalry.
Oh god, Lotta's a bro.
It makes her a student, and then's like, oh, but I'm not sharing my scoops with you, and I'm gonna steal yours. So like, okay. The one we were talking about
I-
trial for.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Uh,
I'm very neutral to Manfred as a villain.
I really like Manfred.
I'm aware. I don't know. I think
him.
I think he's a good villain, but I still just I don't know the way I feel like he was introduced as the big bad, and then it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, is it? I don't want to say it was rushed because it doesn't feel rushed. At the same time, I feel like we didn't really get a great
I know,
showcase. We didn't get a great showcase of, oh, Manfred, does anything to win. The closest we ever got to that was
Wasn't
him.
there the part where he didn't he beat us up in the evidence room or something?
That was gonna say,
Yeah,
the closest,
he
the closest
tasered
we
you.
ever got was when he tased us because we found decisive evidence. That was the
Well,
closest we
he's
ever
trying
got.
to
Which is,
manipulate the
You
judge.
and Maya almost died.
Mine's just gotta toughen up, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Imagine almost dying to a taser.
I know,
Yeah.
couldn't be me.
Weakling.
You know what? I think that scene was meant to hit harder because that's the first time Maya gets hurt because of your actions.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I'm only thinking about that now. So
Yeah,
at
it wasn't-
at the time, it didn't scream that. It wasn't like, which I get. Sometimes subtlety is needed, but like I said, the reason that scene doesn't feel as impactful to me is because it's happened in every other trial before this.
Yeah.
You rub your face, your evidence in Red White's face. He punches you and calls the cops. You show your evidence to Dee Vasquez. She lures you into a room and threatens you with the mafia. And then,
Yeah. But-
Manfred shows up and he's just like, well, "I've got
Dang.
a taser."
It never even felt like a pattern, but now that you're pointing it out,
Yeah.
It's-
but
way of getting
I think it lessens
right
the.
in that before it's kind of the theme is that Phoenix is getting himself into hot water, but that's kind of his choice. He wants to find the truth.
Of
But
course,
Maya's just kind of like a tag along. She goes with him because, they're like friends or whatever. And now, because of what he's doing to try to get karma, she's getting hurt.
Yeah,
Instead,
I think-
before it was just him.
I think that part's fine. I'm more so referring to the whole idea of Manfred doing anything to win. It feels less impactful because we've had every other villain threaten or hurt Phoenix to avoid,
Yeah.
getting
the thing
caught.
that separates it is he has legitimate power over the proceedings of the courtroom, whereas witnesses don't really have that kind of ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's actually a prosecutor. And a very well revered and respected prosecutor, too.
Yeah, I mean,
And
all fucking D Vasquez has is 3 guys with guns. I mean,
Yeah.
barely even threatening.
In a way, I feel like Damon Gant leaves a more imposing, like threatening environment when he's around than
Oh,
Manfred does.
I like them both, but I disagree. I think Karma is way more intimidating than Gant is. Not to say that Gant isn't. Gant is definitely intimidating.
I think
But-
they give off different versions of intimidation. When Damon Gant or when Manfred von Karma's there, you see him and you're like, I don't like you. Just from his initial appearance, you're just like, okay, this guy's going to be an asshole to fight. Damon Gant, I don't know. When I first met him, I already was like, something's up with this guy. I was
Yeah.
immediately suspicious, and just watching him talk, watching him, say everything,
Yeah.
and having that smile on his face, it's like, to me, that's more intimidating because it's kind of just like that. I don't need to,
It didn't intimidate me. It just made me mad.
Yeah.
I just
Like,
wanted
I-
to beat his ass in real life.
Was that Karma was more overt and used more hard power tactics. He was bossing the judge around. So his
That made me mad,
intimidation
too.
is more of an overt dread. Like when he comes in, you know he's going to just command the room, and if he doesn't like you, you're kind of screwed. Where Gant is more of like a soft power. He kind of like wants you to think that you guys are friends, but also you know that he's going to do stuff if you don't act the way he wants
Yeah.
you to.
I don't know.
For me,
Oh, go ahead.
Manfred von Karma was a character that really didn't have the chance to become as intimidating as he needed to be, which is why they put him as much as they did in later games.
I think the reason, ironically, because I know what your guys are going to say about 5, but I think that the reason that you think Gant is more intimidating is because he spends more time with us.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
literally
definitely.
there long.
Yeah, he's there longer, so he's more established.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
Gant.
I'm saying though. That's not a benefit to the trial.
It's a benefit to his character, but
Yeah,
not
it's
to
a
his
benefit to
trial.
his character.
Yeah.
Gant
Which is
wants.
why that's why Manfred wasn't the best character, but plot-wise, he was incredible because of the fact that he mentored the threat for the rest of the game, that being Edgeworth. His relation to Edgeworth being overturned by him literally prosecuting his own, successor in a way, really shows you how heartless and cruel of a person he is and how dedicated he is to his craft. I think that's what they were kind of going for with just one trial to establish how intense this guy is, and I think they went about it in the best way they possibly could.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they really needed the other games to make him as threatening as he is.
It's a whole thing of Gant wants to talk to you, and so that's why he's there more. Why he leaves, at least for me, a bigger impression. Versus Von Karma, his whole thing is he wants everything to be done quick. I mean, like literally, I'm pretty sure the last day of the trial starts with him going, "This trial will be over in 15 minutes."
Yeah,
That was his world record
I
attempt.
legit ended up doing a speed running bit because of how much he gave that vibe off.
Yeah, he said 3 minutes in the first trial and then 15 at the end of it.
He doesn't. There's no back and forth between well, like in every other trial, it's back and forth between Phoenix and Edgeworth, or maybe Phoenix and the witness. Between Von Karma, Von Karma just kind of pops in at the last second to be like, or it'll be like Phoenix will call something out. Phoenix will like start getting ahead of himself, and Von Karma will be like, "No, here you're wrong," and then it'll move on. Well, it's very short. It's very not sweet, but
I mean, yeah, but I feel like that helps. I feel like that helps his characterization. That helps make him more memorable. Because with Miles, you could get away with like pressing all over the place, and sometimes he'd interject. But you can't do that with Karma. The second you start goofing around a little, he just shuts you down immediately.
Yeah. There's one last thing that kind of held Von Karma back from being as impactful, and that was that he is the only prosecutor to not appear in the investigations.
Yeah,
well, he does once
the longest
to tase you.
Well, yeah, once to tase you, but the rest of them, he's like literally so hands off that you forget he's there until the trial starts, and I think that kind of weakened his impact.
Yeah, like I like honestly, I felt it might have been annoying, but I felt like he should have been everywhere in the investigation. You know what I mean? Because he's so obsessed with perfection, he should be looking at everything with a fine-toothed comb.
In a way, I agree.
Everywhere.
But here's the thing. His perfection is all a lie. The only reason he's perfect is because he manipulates evidence.
Yeah.
So him not being there actually does add to that bit of, he's literally just a bullshit prosecutor that lies his way to victory. So
I think
yeah, but you can't really conceal evidence you don't have, you know?
Put those Tic Tacs away, my guy.
Oh my god. I think this trial is again. I think it's lacking in characterization, but it makes up for that with how good it's like the story of this trial is. Because like I say, a lot of heart. She's dumb. She's a bit goofy. She's annoying as shit. And then you have Manfred von Karma, who we don't get enough time to, we have to look deeper into the text to realize, how bad he actually is. But story-wise, the whole, like you said earlier, the whole idea of Edgeworth being his pupil, but he doesn't care, and then he's immediately prosecuting this case. And then as the trial goes on further, and we get to the DL6 incident, and it's like as you slowly put the pieces together of like, okay, it wasn't anybody in the elevator who fired the killing blow. It had to have been someone from outside the elevator. And then you start putting the pieces together and you're like, oh shit, oh my god.
Yeah.
I still think one of the best scenes of this game is Phoenix being like, so why don't we put a metal detector up to your arm?
Exactly.
And him freaking out about it. I think that
the
scene is
animation is so great. So great.
I
So,
think
there's
that
two
scene's
things
amazing.
I gotta say about the story in this trial. And first thing is I'm going to fully agree with the way that the twists were set up in this trial, because they all felt like they came out of left field, but they also didn't feel like they were completely meaningless and unrelated to the topic at hand, which is a problem I had with the fifth trial, because everything that happens is just some groundbreaking thing, like, oh shit, there was a person who shot outside the elevator. We've never even considered that for the entirety of the trial, but it still makes sense. It doesn't have to do with, oh, this evidence is illegal, you can't have obtained this and stuff. So, but I'll get to complaining about that in the fifth trial. The more important thing is the story of Edgeworth in this trial, because after the entire game where Edgeworth is your opponent, all of a sudden he has to swallow his pride and accept the defense of his biggest enemy of all time. Like, that was cool as shit. You gotta admit that was amazing. And then yeah.
Another thing about Edgeworth, real quick, which ties into his whole arc throughout this entire story, is about around the end of Trial 3 is when we see him starting to be maybe always going for a guilty verdict isn't always the right option, right? He's begun his pursuit of the truth, and I think the first step he needs to take for that is him accepting the truth of what happened during the DL6 incident, because he's immediately like, oh, it was me, right? And he refuses to believe otherwise, even though Phoenix is sitting there like, you didn't kill your dad. Phoenix comes up to him without any evidence, like, you didn't kill your dad, right? And then it's just like, no, you're wrong. That's another great scene. Before the trial shifts to the DL6 incident part of the trial, and you're in the waiting room, and I think you're talking to Maya, if I remember correctly. And Maya's freaking out. She's like, "Oh my god, Phoenix, what are you gonna do?" And it's the most relaxed Phoenix has ever been. And he's just sitting there. He's like, "All right, now starts the real game." I think that seems really cool, even though he ends up fumbling for the next half of the DL6 incident. But we don't talk about that. The sheer confidence Phoenix has going into the DL6 incident, I fucking love that.
Yeah. It really felt like there was a sense of finality to this trial due to the progression of Edgeworth as a character, witnessing how his philosophy of do anything to win is used against him.
Oh, yeah.
Having his mentor be like, haha, I'm using your tactics against you. You will die because you're guilty or whatever.
You will die.
Especially when the person you've been using that against is now ignoring your past and then fighting for you. That's gay as hell. Come on, Phoenix. I know we didn't talk about, even throughout this entire video, we haven't talked about the relationship between Phoenix and Edgeworth in that way, but still, even as rivals, That
They're
was
undeniably very,
both
very gay.
100%.
Mhm.
More in later
Uh,
games than this one, but they were secretly lovers. That was a dialogue you could have picked.
Unnecessary feelings.
Oh, that was in this game?
That's trial 3. At the very end of trial 3, he talks to you in the waiting room.
Best line in the series.
Mhm.
I remember throughout the entire game when we first started talking about this, Jeremy was like, no, like that's just the fans. And then as we got like closer to the end, I could just hear it in Jeremy's voice. He's just like, yeah, all right.
I mean, I see where the fandom's coming from, definitely. But I still think Phoenix is just a super good friend.
Okay. Can you buy at least that Miles is gay for Phoenix?
Mm,
Jeremy,
I'm
I'm gonna need some hard evidence on that
Yeah,
one.
you're gonna have to play the Miles Edgeworth investigation games because he just keeps referring to Phoenix as that man and
Yeah.
cites that man as the person who fundamentally changed his worldview and who he has to shape his life around. Like, it can't get more clear cut than that.
I'd like to add that Capcom officially sold, I think it wasn't wedding rings, it was engagement rings. Both it was a pair that you could buy, one modeled after Phoenix, one modeled after Edgeworth.
All right, well, I concede.
That's it. Official. It's canon.
It's
Plus,
canon.
there's one YouTube thumbnail. This one.
Oh, I fucking love that thumbnail based on gay manga. Where is it? I love that thumbnail so much. Why did you post an image of the fucking knight from Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright?
I wanted to know who the hell he was.
Barnrod, bro. All right.
He shares the Japanese voice actor with Riku.
Oh, okay.
Cool thing is his name isn't Lord Jeekin Barnrod. It's Zacharias.
No, it is Jeekin Barnrod.
Oh my god.
Is
That's
there
what
anything
it
else
is
you would like
on
to say
IMDb.
about Trial 4, Jeremy? You've been rather silent.
No, I think you guys about covered all of my thoughts.
I think we covered a little more than your thoughts.
Probably, yeah.
Come on, you've got nothing.
Boy, that Edgeworth guy sure didn't kill anyone.
He didn't.
Gotta hand it to him.
I don't know
didn't
if you guys remember.
He did a good job insisting on the fact that he had killed someone, despite the fact that he had actually not killed anyone.
He did a really good job at convincing himself he murdered somebody.
Yeah, it was impressive.
I love the progression of defendants in this game. You have the guy who is completely sure he didn't do it. You have
What?
Maya, who's
What?
What?
Wait, go back on that one. Larry Butts literally said, "Give me the death penalty." What do you mean he's completely sure he didn't do it?
Because he's completely sure he didn't. I'm pretty sure he's completely sure he didn't.
No,
I know,
Phoenix
I
is
know.
completely sure
I
he
know
didn't do
he.
it.
I know
Larry,
he's. I know
No,
he says
I'm
that
pretty
line,
sure-
but he says it
I'm
for a.
guilty.
He no. He doesn't say he's guilty. He says he wants to the death sentence because he can't be with his girlfriend anymore. Dumbass.
Yeah.
But that's what he says. He's like. That's literally the line. He's like, "Give me the death sentence. If I can't be with her, what's the point?"
Says, "Am I?" And I quote, "I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence." Clear cut. Anyways, carry on.
I'll find it.
Maya's definitely not guilty. Just like you know, just like the second you walk in there. Will Powers, you don't. That's the first like case you walk into not seeing what happened, and he's got some pretty good evidence against him, considering his alibi is very thin. Considering all his alibi is he was napping. It's
Borderline. Yeah.
Trial 4, you have Edgeworth being like, oh, he's pretty sure he killed his father from what his dreams are. And then you have Trial 5, which you are actively competing against somebody who is 100% claiming it was them and refusing to back down. Like,
Yeah.
Edgeworth doesn't back down, but like you can tell he has his doubts. Lana's just, we'll get to why she has her, why she's doing it, but Lana is 100% just like, it was me, I did it, just get this over with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good build up. Even though Lana does get a bit annoying after a while, and you're just like,
From the
please,
get-go, was she annoying?
I was like, please, I get it. You know, there's something that's stopping you from telling the truth, but do you have to just sit here and be like, end it? It's like, no, let me do my job, you whore.
Well,
So is that it for Trial 4? I think it's time we finally jump
That sounds like a
into.
brilliant segue to Trial
Let's
5.
just talk about Trial 4 forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, because
Alright.
We all know we love
favorite
Trial
Trial
5, so there's no point in moving on to it anyways, you know?
Trial 5, the DLC trial.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I think, most importantly, it adds. Part of me
It
wants.
sure does.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the right words here. It adds very little to the story of this game.
Mhm.
If
It's self-contained.
it's self-contained, and the only little bit it adds is that it shows us that Edgeworth has begun his resolve to search for the truth. That's all we get, but we basically it's basically told that's basically told to us by the end.
I mean,
Trial
and it
4.
also showcases more of the corruption of the system.
Yeah,
Whereas before, you don't really get to see that as much. It's kind of just implied.
but again,
It's not even implied.
I feel like
There's
this game's focused on, you know, I don't know, this game's story, and I honestly later game stories touch on it too. The whole idea of Edgeworth's, you know, pursuit of the truth and realizing, you know, it is about the corrupt system, because Edgeworth does realize that, you know, the whole idea of, you know, always going for the guilty verdict isn't, you know, the correct option. That's part of it, but I don't think like that's the main plot of the game. It's a self-contained trial,
Yeah.
but and I completely I get why it is a DLC case. They literally sold this shit for like $5, I think, on the eShop.
Yeah.
what? No, no.
Was it
No,
free?
It was a GBA game at first, and when they re-released it for DS, that's when it got added.
I see.
So it was a separate.
There's
game?
a GB.
It's like
There's
the
a
DS version is
GBA
a
version
remake
of Phoenix.
Yes, it was Japanese exclusive. So when it
Ah.
got ported to the West, they only did the DS remake with the 5th added trial.
I see.
That's what they mean by DLC trial. It wasn't in the GBA release.
I see.
The GB.
It wasn't an eShop in 2005.
I
Anyways,
think this trial suffers from investigation fatigue. Heavily. Undoubtedly. So much of this investigation is talking. Like,
which is a good thing in a way, because it lasted so long. If it was as confusing or convoluted as Trial 3 and 4 investigations were, it would have been even worse. But instead, it's really linear and it's easy to figure out where to go and everything, with the exception of every now and then you don't know how to navigate through the garbage menu system.
except that one time when we couldn't find Gumshoe. No.
Aside from not being able to find Gumshoe, I feel like a majority of it being talking based helped shorten the already long process, which was appreciated.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still think it is the worst investigation in the series, personally. And I'm even saying that compared to game 2-3.
Yeah, least frustrating, most boring, therefore worst.
It's such a slog, and I mean, it doesn't help that we spent probably a good 3 hours total during the investigations just talking about shit like Good Luck Charlie or M&Ms or whatever.
I think that just speaks to how boring the goddamn trial was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't help the investigation times. And then when it came to the trial,
16 hours.
oh my god, 16 hours alone. for the last trial. That was
Yep.
the trials. I've literally never in the series have I ever felt, hey, this trial's going on a bit too long. I remember when I saw the words trial former, I was like, oh, you've got to be shitting me.
Yeah.
The words trial former scared me.
Hmm. No, this is the
As did they
only
me.
time in the series where, rather than just the investigations being slow, the trial itself also felt slow.
Also, the amount of times you have to repeatedly show evidence to the point where it became a running joke with us, where it was just like we're like,
Oh, check the
what,
security tape.
what evidence? What evidence we show? We tried the security tape, and then sometimes it worked.
A majority of the time, it worked. It felt like you could predict the twists way earlier than they actually came up, and that's
Yeah.
something that I didn't ever have happen when playing the rest of the series.
Yeah,
Like I feel like I get the twist, and then when it actually gets to the point where the twist is going to happen, it's a completely different twist.
Oh,
So
shit.
I
I
was
just
like,
realized
oh.
I haven't been playing the detention center music in a bit.
Oh, play Dig Gumshoe's theme.
Yeah.
Make it
Gumshoe's
really
theme?
happy and chipper because we're all very happy and chipper about Child 5.
Yeah.
When are they gonna make the Dick Gumshoe investigations?
And they should.
Yeah.
The raise Dig Gumshoe's salary game. They got to do that. Actually, no, I can't spoil it.
That's
So
such one gag I forgot about that I keep wanting to do because it's such a thing
it's such an integral
that-
part of the character.
that he doesn't have money. I think it was like in the first episode, or like the one of those, or the second episode.
The
One of
cereal.
No,
Oh.
there was this one gag where like I don't know what prompted it, but someone was like mentioned that he was a detective, and he was like, yeah, I'm a detective and a graphic design artist, and and he has like a bajillion jobs because none of them pay him much.
Oh my god.
He's that
Broke
one
all
guy from the Amazing World of Gumball.
Huh?
Oh no, you don't remember the guy with the box head in Amazing World of
Oh
Gumball?
yeah. I forgot his name. Wasn't it Larry or something?
Larry,
Like that?
that's right.
Yeah.
It was Larry.
I think the
Yeah, Gumshoe is
only
Larry.
I think the only character, like new characters at least, I didn't dislike in this trial were Emma, Gant, and Meekins. Meekins more so just because he's an idiot. He's a lovable idiot.
Lovable idiot, yeah. I have no
Emma-
qualms with.
Emma, I had fun playing her, and Gant, like I've already expressed, I think Gant's better than Karma, at least for me personally, in terms of just because I don't know, I was able to see Gant more, so I was able to form a better opinion on Gant than I was Karma. Karma is such a silent villain that it's good in its own way, but it was hard for me personally to get that relation to Manfred. Gant, it was like he's there, he's got that fake facade on that you're like, I want to crack this facade. I want to see what's behind him. I also love Gant's breakdown animation, the whole
Yes,
electrocution shit.
Mhm.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense, like realistically, but I fucking love it.
It's because I think the inspiration for his design was Zeus, so he has like an electric themed breakdown.
Mhm.
Hey, before I read my essay, The Keeper, please go into intense detail about why this is a good trial.
Yeah, go
So-
fight for this
I
trial.
genuinely
Fight the power.
don't see it.
Huh?
I genuinely do not see many positives of this trial, so I would like to hear your opinion.
Well, so I think it's just a difference of perspective, because like your guys' main complaints was the length, and you didn't really like the characters. But for me, I didn't mind the length, and I really liked the characters.
Okay, but did you like the length?
Hmm?
Was it a good thing?
I didn't mind it. I mean, it wasn't like a good thing, I guess, but
There we
I didn't dislike it. It wasn't like long enough that I ever felt like it was a slog, I guess. But I think that was mostly because we were all doing it together. It probably would have felt like a slog if I did it by myself. But since we were all doing it together, I didn't really feel like, at least for me, it dragged on too much. And I like the characters. The only ones I don't really care for that much is Emma and Lana, but the rest of them I like just fine. And I really like Gant and Marshall, as I said before. Marshall, 99% because his voice is fun, but I also just really like him. He's very gimmicky. And I really like Gant. Any questions?
Not questions, but on the whole top, like thing of like Jake Marshall being gimmicky, I actually think that's why I don't like him, because a lot of Ace Attorney characters have gimmicks, but Jake's Marshall gimmick got boring. Same with Angel Stars, and I think that's my main issue with the trial, because of how like important characters they are to the trial, because they show up like almost in every investigation. Their gimmicks just got way old, way quick, and they didn't expand on the gimmick any further. So it was a boring gimmick at some point.
I mean, I guess, but like, most of the characters just have a gimmick and kind of stick to it. I can't remember off the top of my head characters who have like a set gimmick and then it just expands at one point.
Of course,
I would
but
like to defend Angel Star briefly. I wouldn't say that she had a gimmick that got old, because she didn't really. And she was there for almost none of the important parts of the trial. She was one of the most useless people in the entire trial.
Yeah.
This
And
is a defense?
that's what made her boring. No, Angel Star.
Okay.
As a person who literally played her, I talked less as her than I did the bellboy. So I know that she didn't play a big enough role, an important enough role, or an interesting enough role. So her problem was not that her gimmick got stale, it's just that she never got the chance to be anything more than a person who is there to fill an already long trial.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess for me, Marshall didn't really get stale just because he was so out there. He wasn't just a southern dude. He was a cowboy, you know? And his animations really phoned in on that and the way he talked.
I thought his animations were really static. He was one of the least characterized in terms of visuals.
He had more sprites than other people. Like, he had a drinking animation, he had a shaving animation, he had...
Yeah, but they weren't dynamic enough. It was kind of just him standing there doing stuff with his hands, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
It wasn't
But, like,
unique posing. He didn't really have a face that could distort in comedic ways. I don't know.
I'm still uncomfortable with the fact that that was his actual hair.
Oh yeah, that
That's
was
so
absolutely
weird.
horrifying.
yeah.
I mean,
That
I had
was-
assumed it was his hair for the first half of the trial, but then once it was pointed out that it looked like a cloth, I was like, oh no. Oh no.
My God,
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that.
All right.
All right, so I think it's time for your essay.
All right. I feel like there's some other things that I want to say on the fifth trial, but I have to see if I already wrote it in my essay. So, and this is actually going to start with some stuff that is like
Before-
general about the game. But...
Before you start, could you open up like the word count real quick? See where we're at.
Yeah, word count. To prep everybody in advance. So when I was writing this, I was treating it as if this Boys on the Street table talk would be us all doing in-depth reviews on the game. And that didn't happen. 527 words, 2,999 characters.
Okay, so
Didn't make it to the game.
that's roughly about 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I wrote it as if I were writing your review for you.
My God.
But then I decided to shit on Trial 5 because it was what I most recently played and it was fresh on my mind because of how annoying it was in my opinion. Anyways. Ace Attorney is an experience that is best had with absolutely no prior knowledge. Its absolute strongest gameplay and story element is the satisfaction of figuring something out, but is aided in a variety of other ways. Ace Attorney 1 is such an unforgettable game that it's impossible to go back to and relive that feeling of wonder. When I first played the first trial for the first time, I struggled immensely with it, since the time zone thing was such an out-of-the-box solution for so early in the game. It was like the fourth possible thing they did. I was convinced it was the hardest trial in the series because of the way in which things were hidden and had to be figured out were so new and novel as a person who'd never played anything like it. So replaying this and knowing all the solution really took away from that feeling of satisfaction, overcoming some difficult thought puzzle. But the only reason I was able to remember all the solutions was because of how damn memorable the game was. Playing Trial 5 for the first time, however, made me realize exactly what it lacked that the rest of the game had: Maya. Although in later games Emma Skye would become a super likable and interesting character, she never really worked well as Maya did, as the lovable goofball assistant. Rarely in the investigations did Emma feel like a comedic relief character, since she was intended as a more serious and internally conflicted character who was supposed to go through some kind of character growth, but she seemed to me like she was super stagnant. Phoenix did almost all of the work throughout the trial, and Emma didn't add much outside of giving Phoenix luminol. And she also didn't seem particularly concerned at any point in time. She wasn't really proactive. One of the most amazing parts of the game was Maya's struggle to help Phoenix throughout the trial. That's why the final presentation in the first 4 trials was her proving to herself how helpful she truly was, not only as a constantly lively and upbeat comedic relief character, but as a central guiding force in Phoenix's otherwise rather shitty legal experience. But the other thing the later games ran wild with is the prosecutor and his own personal struggle. Edgeworth has a similar struggle to nearly all the others, being obsessed with perfection and inevitably learning that his role should be to determine the truth. It's nice. But more than any other prosecutor, we see We see how he sees this almost in full due to the innocent shining brilliance of Phoenix Wright. Basically what I'm No, I already said that one. The story in the 5th trial was kind of boring. It wasn't a whodunit murder mystery so much as it was an overturning the police corruption kind of ordeal, but it wasn't as cool as later games' literal unwinding of the entire government. And the forgery thing was more confusing than anything, and most of the trial seemed deliberately hard to follow. And then I have a bunch of meaningless sentences afterwards.
Oh my god. I actually agree with that. I do think that the last trial focuses so much on, like, oh, this evidence was forged, and, you know, the scene was forged by Lana, but the scene wasn't forged by Lana, and it becomes really hard to follow. Which, I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be a difficult trial. Like, it's meant to be harder than the last trial of the game. But
it ended up being more confusing than interesting. The rest of the game was really simple in its execution. Like, it was literally just a bunch of whodunit murder mysteries where every now and then, the location of the crime was a completely different place. That fundamentally changes everything. Meanwhile, this one was, like, constantly battling can you actually use this evidence, or is it illegally gotten and not be able to be used?
It's a damn shame, because I think this is probably one of the coolest, like, openings to a trial, with the scene of 2 murders happening at the same time as, like, lightning strikes. I think that's such a cool way to, like, start off with, like, a case. And they started, for me, it got me interested. I'm like, oh, okay, what's happening here? Right? And then the rest of the trial is just, it's complicated, but it's not interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I want to go last on this one, so I'm just going to ask everyone else. What are your overall ratings? Like, if you were to give this game blank out of 10, what would you give it?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's actually hard.
It's a very hard question.
Oh, it's extraordinarily hard for me in particular because it used to be my favorite Ace Attorney game. And upon replaying it, I didn't like it as much. I started noticing some
it's
problems.
It's actually funny because I feel the opposite. After replaying it, I realized I liked it a lot more than I remembered.
Yeah. There's a lot of really cool things, and as a story, it's just stellar. but gameplay wise, I feel like there's a lot of things that bring it down, and almost all of them are due to the investigations. Even judging it by just the the first 4 trials, I feel like 3 was such a massive part of the game and was like compared to the other 3 not as good. And then the 5th one just adds on to it. I wouldn't say the 5th trial lowers the overall rating. I think it stays exactly the same, to be honest. And I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think maybe like an 8 or a 9. I really like the first game. It just has the most memorable characters for me, and I like all the trials, which, I mean, I wasn't even able to get through the 3rd game, and the 2nd game I can't for the life of me remember much about. Maybe I'll change my mind when we get through those 2, but I don't know. The first game is just the most memorable for me. It's got I like all the trials. I like all the characters, more or less, besides Lada.
All right, newbie, you're next up.
Trying to, because like excluding Trial 5 from the equation because it's not really a part of the main game, and separating my general anger toward a lot of the characters. That was a really good game. I don't like numbers.
I won't force you to give a number if you don't want to.
I'm gonna give it a fucking like a fist bump, bro. I want to fist bump the guy who made this game.
Yeah, actually,
Alright.
I have something even better than a number. I'll give it an A. It's an A.
Oh, it's an A, easy.
It's an
I gave
A.
it
Yeah,
an A,
agreed.
Still an A.
Agreed.
I
The
think
first time I played this, it was a solid 100%, but yeah.
I think I'm actually gonna go with the exact same rating that Chris Pratt over here gave us. Originally, while you guys were going, I was debating on a 9 or an 8. That was what I was in between, because I really like the story of this game. I really like the progression of Edgeworth. I really like, I like how tense the moments are. But despite all of that, it has its problems. There's some bullshit. The investigations are a slog. And Trial 5. But I think an 8.5 is about right. But I'll agree. I'll actually agree. I think a number it probably isn't this way. I think it's an A game. Yeah.
Definitely better than Jackie Chan Stuntmaster.
If I were a teacher and I had to grade game development, I'd be like, yeah, this is an A.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the music or the visuals. Or
Oh my
the other
God.
things that make it
Okay,
extreme.
so I know it's a big topic. It's a topic that me and you had a while ago, Chris Pratt. The DS graphics versus the HD trilogy graphics.
Night and day. There's only one reason I would prefer the modern version, and it's that it gives you a cursor that tells you when you've already investigated something.
Yeah.
The DS game doesn't do that, and that sucks. Otherwise, I gotta say the DS version is the best possible way to play this game because the pixel art is that much better.
I
I have
disagree.
to agree.
I like the pixel art. I do think the pixel art's better. But there are some sprites I think that the HD version definitely was needed for to There's some sprites in the game where it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. A lot of if I remember correctly, I think it was a lot of Vasquez's sprites got me confused when I was playing it on the DS originally.
Because she was so hot in that game. How could they do this?
My God. Music-wise, I fucking love the music in this game. It's... I was about to say, it's excellent background music. And then I realized I've yet to use any of the songs in any of my videos. So, I should get on that. Because it'd be perfect for my videos.
I'm trying to find literally a single person who played the DS version of this game.
Yeah, it's
Because
literally-
I've never seen the pixel art, and I'm having a very difficult time finding any.
It's
You can
me
just look
and the
up some
person
of the
who lent me
sprites.
their copy.
Wait, what am I doing? I can just look up Phoenix Wright Attorney with lyrics.
No, stop.
You could also just look up the sprites. That's what I'm doing right
Yeah.
now. I'm looking at Vasquez's sprites. And I don't know, they look good to me. I really like the actual like sprites much better than the HD version.
Mostly
Ah,
because like the HD versions seem like they embellish on flaws that the pixel art had as a result of the limitation of it being pixel art. So like they just created things that shouldn't have been there because they were only there in the pixel art because of like technical limitations. I don't know. I don't like how it feels.
I do think the shading's a bit weird in the HD version.
That said, even though I, for the longest time, thought that the 3DS, like 3D models, was the worst possible look, I like it more than the visual style of the HD remaster and the DS games, to be honest.
Interesting.
I think the 3D models have a lot of charm to them.
Well,
Although-
So
I-
far,
jank
so far, my
living rooms.
only experience with 3D models has been the Professor Layton game.
Oh, you played that one?
I need to play more of it. I'm on the first actual trial. If that makes sense.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Like in the dungeon, the first dungeon trial.
That game's weird to me because for a majority of my time playing it, I thought I didn't like it, and then all of a sudden at the end, it was like a masterpiece.
Oh my god.
Mostly because I just hate the Professor Layton parts so much.
All right. Well, any final thoughts? Final words anybody wants to say?
Why do some of these pixel sprites look like they're from a Game Boy, and some of them look like they're on the Wii?
They did
It's a-
sell this game on the Wii, the DS version specifically,
And on the Game Boy.
and on the Game
Yeah.
Boy.
Possible then.
So,
Alright.
so Jeremy,
Yeah.
after the main series, we're gonna do Miles Edgeworth
Oh
Investigations.
god, no, don't.
I've heard nothing but bad things about this game. I don't.
do
But
it.
it's like B movie bad. It's so bad it's good.
Except not really. It's good, but also bad.
Like Edward Scissorhands good?
I can only compare it to games. I've never seen movies of any kind.
Okay.
All right. But does anyone actually have any like final words that they want to say?
I feel like I gotta say a final word, but the only thing I can say is, damn, these bitches gay.
Good for them. Good for them.
Do you remember in I forget which episode it was, but in one of the episodes where it was Miles's trial, and Andrew, for whatever reason, had to like do something, so the judge couldn't be voiced for a little, and I was just voicing the judge, but using Karma's voice.
Oh, yeah.
That was a pretty good bit. I actually like that bit a lot.
Yeah.
Just Karma being like the judge is asleep. I'm the
Hey.
judge now. Fuck you.
Now that we're talking about it, we didn't talk about the judge the entire time. And I gotta say, the judge is an amazing character.
I fucking
He's such
know.
a spineless asshat. I like. I can't.
No, and that's what makes him great.
He's
because
pretty great.
everybody else in the game is like so content on themselves. Like, think about it. Phoenix is like, no, my guy is innocent. You're fucking wrong. And then Edgeworth and Von Karma are just like, no, my guy's innocent. You're fucking wrong.
Dude,
And then
why
the
does-
judge is like, I gotta go somewhere after this. Can we hurry this up? Also, I'm gonna deliver the correct verdict regardless. So
Wait,
okay.
hold on. Why
He's
does
kind of a god, and I
Mia
love
look
him.
completely different in the pixel art?
Hmm?
Mia looks completely different in the pixel art.
Oh.
At least I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering
Is
her
it
weird.
less
but
terrifying?
I don't know. I don't think so. It just looks different. I don't know.
Oh, the best possible way to end this is Justice for All coming soon. Pearl Maya is also coming soon.
Fuck. No.
Be afraid.
No, thank you.
Be
Hard
very
pass.
afraid.
Please no.
Do it.
All right.
Sorry.
Do it. Do
Oh,
we
but yeah.
want to release the cast list for
Oh.
for the fans.
Yeah, you know what? Let me read through this real quick. All right. It's not pinned anymore. God damn it.
No, it is. Justice
It-
for All is pinned.
No, oh,
Just
we're not. Let's not read the cast for Justice for All. We'll do that when we get to it.
I think we deleted it.
No, Andrew reposted it, so it's later down, and he wanted me to take it out. If you just do the search for it and search for Ace all caps,
No, I
The
think I'm
space-
fine. I think we can
should-
just call it. I think we just call it here. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming to this.
right here.
It's fine. Thank you everybody for hopping into this table talk or watching the VOD for the table talk. As Chris Pratt said, Justice for All coming soon, possibly next week. I'm going to try to hit next week. Typical Monday Phoenix Writes as usual.
Yes.
Despite that, I think tonight's where we'll wrap it up.
And our
Expect
host, Mike Lightning, is slowly turning into one of the characters of Justice for All.
Oh, you mean with the blonde hair?
Yeah.
A video on the first Ace Attorney game will be coming out on my channel eventually. Before that, I'm working on another video. Should be coming out hopefully soon. I'm aiming for either next Monday or next Friday. Not this upcoming Friday, the Friday after that. That's my aim, but you know, I'm a procrastinator, so we'll see how it happens with there. All right. I think it's time to say goodbye to Ace Attorney 1. What do you guys think?
I think it was a great experience.
I am
I can't wait.
tired.
I'm also very tired.
Why?
He
And I
really
can't-
was an
I
Ace
can't-
Attorney.
Yeah. I can't wait until our adventure is advanced enough that I can play out in Miles' investigations.
All right.
I think he had a lot of friends.
Sayonara. Goodbye.
Adios.
Adios.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. I was gonna say that one.
What's the German one? Auf Wiedersehen?
And remember, Phoenix Wright will always leave you with unnecessary